So before we get started, I'm just going to try to clear the room as quickly as possible. There's a lot of people out there that decide that if they see consistent images of a black woman's face directly on his platform, that it must mean that he hates black women and all these things. And it just gets to the point where you, in a sense, start not to care. It just gets a little bit annoying. So if you happen to think, or for what some of you guys have stated that that I hate black women, then just block this page and just unsubscribe from the platform because obviously you're going to be the type to not listen to any types of critiques or information that is going to be given, and more than likely it's just not for you, right? You're just going to do things that you specifically want to do in life.
All right, guys. So I have a question. I've been on social media quite a bit, kind of researching this concept of peace that men say they want from women. Fellas, can you break it down for me? When you say peace, what is it that you really mean? Like, truly, peace is something that's internal. So when you say you want a woman to be your peace, do you have peace? Are you a peaceful person? Or are you asking to experience the peace that a woman has internally? And are you providing a space for her to be peaceful? I don't know. I really want to talk about it because the answers that I'm seeing are answers like, she doesn't nag, she doesn't question me. Okay, I don't know if that's peace or not. It doesn't sound peaceful. It just sounds like you want to not be held accountable. I don't know. Let's talk about it. Ladies, sound off. Guys, tell me, when you say you want peace, what does that really mean? Let's talk about it in the chat. I'll meet you there.
Okay, I'm going to just give my version, and I feel like certain things you can't exactly clear cut generalize because every person is different when it comes to their relationship and the woman that they're with and their dynamics and all of these things, right? So if a guy comes home from work, what guys are in a sense saying is that, hey, I'm not trying to sit up there and argue. I'm not trying to bicker. I'm not trying to have a screaming match. I'm not trying to have you just directly every single time challenge every single thing that I say. It's like I just want to be in your presence. It's like guys. Let me break it to women this way. Guys are very simple. We can literally be around a woman. We don't have to say nothing. That is peace in a sense, right? Just being able to enjoy your presence, just being able to enjoy your energy, like just having you there, right? Just having a whole another person there, and like the energy is just in the room, right? And we're just doing stuff like that, right? Just in a sense, maybe in a sense of watching a movie, or we're just like sitting there, maybe just having a very nice conversation. Ain't nothing happening, right? Nobody's arguing, nobody's bickering, nobody's going back and forth, nothing like that. We're just talking, we're just vibing, right? Because when you look at other relationships, or when you hear of other relationships, you hear more times than not that people tend to argue, and more times than not you'll have videos of women just sitting up there arguing, right? A guy could be going in the car about to get the directions, or find out what a restaurant or whatever is, and then because the guy does not specifically know where it is that he's going, you'll see the passenger, who is the woman, deciding that she wants to sit up there and argue. She want to start bickering. She want to start sighing, sucking her teeth, doing all these unnecessary things, which are not needed, right? Again, it's a form of trying to challenge. It's a form of trying to nag. It's a form of a disturbance of some type of chaos, of trying to instill something negative in a situation that didn't even call for it at all. The thing that I want to list is the fact that whenever these questions are presented to the public, it always comes to a point where when a woman is trying to present these questions, they decide to insert themselves as if to try to say that a guy's trying to be like or obtain something that they specifically have. And I find that to be quite weird. I don't understand how we get to that point where a huge assumption like that can even be made. Because to say that, to try to pose the question as, okay, so what type of peace do men really state, or what are they really talking about? Because if you're listing one, two, three, and four, it just seems like you don't want a woman to challenge you. It just seems like you want somebody to just be there and be a robot and all of these things. And the type of peace that you're talking about, are you talking about the internal peace that women have? And if so, are you allowing a woman the space to have? How do we get there? I thought the question was specifically about men, and now you're stating on one end women have internal peace with or without men, but then if they do have this peace and they're around a guy, is a guy enabling an area or a section for women to specifically have that type of, like I said, like how do we get here? How do we get here when the question is specifically presented about men and then it turns into a question about what it is that women have, how it is that men are trying to get it and obtain it, and what are men doing for women and their peace? How did we get here? How? Just how? And then, to see women present questions like this and then have some type of a sarcastic laugh, this is what we're talking about. Because if you're a woman that does not understand specifically what this is, then I don't know what to say for whatever man is directly in a relationship with you. If you don't understand or know specifically what this is, maybe you might have lacked a father. Maybe you might have lacked males specifically in your life. Because again, those men would also specifically let you know what peace is. They'll specifically tell you, because the one thing about family is they're not going to really cut back on what it is that they need to say. If as a woman you are annoying, if you are loud, if you talk way too much, if you're just way too argumentative, again, families are going to let you know. Family will let you know exactly who you are, and your children will let you know who you are. The only people that have sort of a qualm or an issue about trying to state this is the men that are dating or married to those women, because at the end of the day, they're not trying to argue. So, yeah, they should be able to actually state the truth or the obvious, which should be obvious to everybody, but obviously it's not going to be, obvious to that woman. But at what cost? Because if a guy tries to state an issue, a woman is going to take it feeling based, not logically. She's going to take it feeling based first over everything. And then you're going to have an issue. Then you're going to have a problem. Then it's going to be a critique versus a teardown, right? The critique coming from the man basically stating, like, hey, yo, you're just arguing like way too much. Like, cool back, like, calm down. Like, everything ain't about argument, right? So you state that. And then as a woman, she'll come back and basically be 100% argumentative based on feelings, not logic. And then it'll be a tear down argument, roughly 100% from her side. Well, you're not doing this. You're not doing this. You could be doing this better. What about this from like 18 years ago? What about this thing that, right? It's going to be that whole thing. So, like I said, a lot of conversations are online are, I guess interesting. But in real life, there are consequences that comes with a lot of questions and or critiques, and usually is going to negatively fall down on the man, because women can always question and critique whatever it is that men are doing or going through with no problem, no issue. But the moment in time you apply that exact same thing back to women, you're going to see something vastly different, vastly different. So, like I said, my real question is, if you are a woman and you are with a man, how do you not know or understand specifically what peace is? Are you trying to tell us by way of this video that your guy or your husband, your significant other, never had these conversations with you, never specifically told you, never demonstrated, never gave you any examples? Or is it the fact that as a woman, you opted not to listen or pay attention to your significant other because you don't want to know or understand? You just want to do the thing specifically that you want to do as a woman. And again, I want to hit the main part where she stated, um, you know, internal peace. And that was magically, that was the only type of peace. No, there's a such thing as external peace. There's a such thing as being in a place and it is completely peaceful. right? I'm not sure why everybody thinks that peace has to be a internal thing and it can be completely external. You can go to a lot of countries where they don't take in everything that modern society does, like maybe somewhere up in the mountains, right? Somewhere that's far, far away from any city and a lot of these other things. The most that they might have from a city is maybe electricity. That's it. But other than that, they're not taking in social media. They're not taking in the things directly from modern, society. So that society is going to be deemed more peaceful than what it is that we have in our cities every single day. So again, you can have internal and external peace. So if a guy is talking about peace, he's more than likely talking in a general fashion and sense. Guys can go find peace, internal peace in a lot of places, working on cars, playing video games, fixing things, hunting, chopping wood, going out, being with the boys or whatever it is. There's a variety of things that guys can do in order to have that quote unquote internal peace, right? But more specifically, when a guy is talking about peace, or if we're talking about the external version, it goes back to what I stated before, where if a guy is just in the presence of a woman, there is no type of argument, there's no type of bickering, there's no type of tearing down coming away, from the woman, we're going to be in a peaceful type of situation because we're not dealing with anything negative. We're just in the energy of both people. We're just living directly in that. We're experiencing that. We're finding enjoyment right in that, right? There is no type of real enjoyment from always hearing teardowns from women, always having arguments and questions, from women when there's no need to even do any of these things. Like if we're just sitting there, possibly eating food or watching a movie, what would be the reason to start a bicker match? What would be the reason to start tearing down a guy? What would be the reason to start or instill some type of chaos into a situation that was peaceful, right? But again, I'm not trying to give a long video dedicated to this, but for anybody else, again, she left it open for both men and women to specifically talk. So leave your comments down below and let me know what you think.